There's another item that's going on right now that's really catching a lot of attention. I want to briefly discuss it just for a moment. The United States government has secured permission from several states in the United States, several different locations, to conduct a very special military training program that will begin July 15th and extend through September 15th. Part of this is going to be in Texas and some other states, it's going to involve U.S. Special Operations Forces. I mean, these are like the SEALs and the Rangers and the Marine Recon and all of the special ops forces that the military has, and working in a coordinated fashion with Homeland Security. Now, according to the stated purpose of the training program, it's to provide real-world urban training to the military, and to help them to be in the best state they can, quote, to deal with foreign armies. There's just one gigantic problem with all of that. The United States government, when they want to train special operations forces, they are famous for going and building a whole complex for them to train on. They don't need a real place. They'll go out to California or whatever and build a whole mock town. I mean, actually build mock buildings and put all the stuff in. So there's no need for them to go into a civilian area and to do anything of the type that they're talking about. Furthermore, if this training is supposed to be for foreign armies, then why would Homeland Security be involved? Because Homeland Security is only within the United States, dealing with United States citizens. And there's a whole lot of people. By the way, the name of this operation is Jade Helm 2015. I don't recommend you getting up on the internet looking at all the YouTube videos, because half of the stuff up there are crazies all flipping out over this deal. And you probably get more misinformation than true information on it. So I'm trying to sort out some of the details for you so we can keep it kind of straight. There is no question that this training is an extension of what would normally be a martial law emergency event done in this country. It goes beyond what martial law would do. Its specific objectives, it's very clear from the training agenda, is to be able to go into a community, seize control of a community, basically entrap all of the citizens within the community, and kind of go through and sort out which ones you want to keep and which ones you want to get rid of. And the exercise that they've already done, which is preliminary to this in Florida, they were playing mock games of hunting down ultra-conservative right-wing citizens who are opposed to the federal government. Now, there is no doubt in my mind what the government is trying to train on. It's some future operation in which they want to seize control, of various locations and get rid of certain undesirables. The undesirables, obviously, are by definition what Homeland Security considers to be domestic terrorists. By the way, domestic terrorists does not mean liberal progressives or dope-smoking liberals and college kids. It's talking about middle-class, former veterans of this country. And that's who they're afraid of. It's alarming, to say the least. Why does the federal government have to do this? Because they think there's a future scenario that there will be a threat, and they're trying to prepare for it, which just telegraphs to us what is getting ready to come down. I have an interesting blog that I just put up today, if you might want to check in on my Monte blog. It is now abundantly clear that the executive branch of the government, namely the president and his administration, has a very pro-Muslim position, has had it ever since he has come into the United States, and that they are bringing Muslim communities in and establishing Muslim communities to change the very culture and nature of this country. They know very good and well that Jewish and Christian communities and culture is not going to be comfortable with this. That's the reason why they are trying to promote this stance toward getting the American people to accept Muslims and Islamic peoples by establishing communities and not allowing the federal government or any element of the federal government to say anything negative about Islamists or about the Muslim people. They know very good and well that when this all comes down, that this is going to get mean, this is going to get serious, and the Christians aren't going to go for it. So I guess, you know, they're getting ready for when there will be seditious acts that they think will happen, and when they need to round up some undesirables to what the government would like to do. Things are getting dangerous. Now, you already know in the world that the Muslim world has declared war on Christians, and they're killing Christians left and right, and it's almost daily in the news reports now of Christians being killed. So which country is standing up to that and saying that's got to stop? None. Even the United States is not standing up to it. Things are changing, guys. Times are definitely changing. And this is like the pattern of the Nazis and Germany. I remind everybody that in Nazi Germany, before World War II, they were the seat of Protestant Christianity. They were the leading Protestant Christian nation. And the government was able to persuade the citizens and through official actions to basically make Jews illegal and outlaws and unacceptable to society. And they began to dehumanize them. They began to mock them. They began to take issue with them in their businesses and to move public opinion to regard them as a people to be like a cancer, to be like a poison in the community and dangerous, and that we ought to get rid of them. That is exactly the propaganda being put out in our government, universities, and so forth concerning Christians and you and me. You don't have to be a prophet to figure out what's going on here. The only question is, how quickly is it going to happen? How quickly and how rapidly is this going to take place? Well, I can tell you this. When they start training military units to start carrying out some of these details, that tells you that it's going to be happening pretty quick. Because the average military guy and unit, when you do a training exercise like this, is good for about, 2 years, 3 years at the outside before you got to retrain them. So if they're training them this summer, then the training is only viable for the next year to 2 years. So why do they have to train them? Maybe they know something's getting ready to happen that we don't know. But I do know this, because the Lord has told us, that in these days preceding the Great Tribulation is the beginning of sorrows. Nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom. That we will be delivered up to tribulation, and we will be killed. By the way, those things are happening right now. The love of many will grow cold, and bad things will be coming. And this isn't yet the Great Tribulation. So we see the elements of those things taking shape in our own land. I have written an extensive article. It'll be coming out about this. It'll be coming out in time, just before we have Jade Helm 2015 coming this summer, so that you can understand the whole trend of what's been going on. So we'll be paying attention to what's going on this summer with the government in that regard. Amen. We'll trust the Lord on the whole thing. Shabbat Shalom.